Hi everyone and welcome back. Welcome to my brand new playlist. And I recently uploaded a video that I'm going to cover one playlist which talks about how to become a Ninja developer. Actually, there is no such thing of a Ninja developer. It's just all about what all best tools and technologies you can use to become a pro level developer. Let's say you are a fresher, you don't know how to use those tools and these techniques and tips and tricks, then obviously you will take a longer time duration to complete a task. But when you already know the tools, techniques, tips and tricks, then you might be able to finish that task or a particular ticket in maybe less amount of time. So it's all about how to optimize things while you are developing. First of all, how you can write a clean code, right? Because Ninja developer, I will say someone who can write a code really nicely, neat and clean, implementing solid principles, writing the clean test cases, writing a clean component, writing a clean APIs, using the best best set of tools to get the task done, right? So recently I was just writing about it also. So I was thinking like, okay, let's put some videos, and this is going to be a continuous playlist. I will try to put 6 or 7 good set of videos, and then it's like a playlist wherever I see, okay, this is something which I need to share with the developers, which can be helpful for them, then I will keep adding them. So what all things I'm planning to put into this? So first of all, the toolings means, okay, what all different required tools you must have on your setup on your workstation to get any kind of task done. Because most of the times what we are doing, we are actually building an APIs, building a front-end component, or writing some test cases. So there are different job roles. I'm particularly talking about someone who is a developer. Now, developer can be writing a mobile app, desktop app, web app, building a SaaS platform, building a web application, responsive web app, and all those things. But the tool sets are really common, because most of the time we will be writing components, doing the integrations if you are doing a purely front end. If you are a backend developer, senior experienced, then you will be writing APIs and maybe also contributing a lot in the full stack development. Means you are writing a lot on the component side, writing the APIs, and API is not just all about REST. Maybe a GraphQL, building a microservices. All those things you might be doing. So all those things are a part of development, but how you can do all those things in optimized way, I will try to share my experience from my past development journey of at 8 to 10 years, like what all things you should really adopt to get these tasks done very easily. So first of all, the tooling. Okay, I will be taking the reference of the Mac. You can also, if you are using the Windows, then you have to find the relevant toolings for that. So let's talk about tooling. Then we'll talk about how you really work with the version control like Git, GitLab, or maybe a Bitbucket, whatever your repository system you are using. All are using Git. These are just Git providers. We are using GitLab, GitHub, or Bitbucket and all. What should be the branching strategies, how your team should adopt, because you are not the only one writing the code, right? So the main thing is, then we will talk about the branching strategy. Then we will talk about, okay, writing the API development with end-to-end test cases. Now your API development can be in just an Express, Nest.js, Koa, Happy.js, or any framework you choose, one of it. Then building a component end to end, and then writing the test cases for it using Jest. And all those things we are going to introduce. We are going to use these advanced toolings which are provided by in JavaScript stack, the workspaces, a monorepos and all, because now it's not the time when you are just saying, okay, I'm a front-end developer, I'm a back-end developer. We are a full stack developers who are capable of writing the TypeScript code for the front end, for the back end, and we need a single repository. That depends on the use case, but these monorepo, turbo repo concept is more popular. And here you will be doing mostly the self-learning. So it's better you keep only one repository for your front end, back end, and all kind of service integrations. Okay, so this is the agenda what I will be talking in all along in this series. First, let's talk about the toolings. Okay, iTerminal, this is an important tool, because this you need to play around anything on your command terminal, right? So I mean, you just need to think about how you can do all these things. You just need to be good at simple v editor and terminal. Here you can do all sort of commands, like I'm just playing with git status. Similarly, you can do git stash, right? Git stash pop. Here you are, what is the advantage of the terminal? First of all, you should be good at playing with these terminal commands, and on top of that, because iTerminal will not give you this kind of a look and feel, you need to have a terminal, I mean ZSH you need to install on top of that. So I will talk about that first. So first of all, terminal, which is iTerminal, which is already there. I think I can show you iTerminal Mac. This you need to install it as a package, and then what you can do is you can install a ZSH. So ZSH is actually a command terminal. It's like, you can say, a plugin on top of your terminal, which will help you on a lot of things. Its full name is Oh My ZSH. I really like it, and I keep playing and I keep changing my theme whenever I need it, and then you can have a new appearance of your terminal. And obviously, like, why I keep switching my VS Code themes, because we spend most of our time with the VS Code, and having a different color, different fonts attracts us while writing a code. So similarly, you can actually install this Oh My ZSH, and it has thousands of the plugins available for the VS Code, for the Node.js and all. And when you open the VS Code, you can also see this terminal. This is also using ZSH terminal, because if I go to the same directory, cdtk sharma and cdtksharma.com, this is my personal website. Here you can see the branch name and all these, how this is appearing. You can see the branch name and git, right? This is appearing because ZSH terminal is supporting it. And you can also look into the ZSH file, like bash terminal you might heard of. So we can just do ZSHRC, and this is my ZSHRC config. Here is actually my theme, ZSH theme. You can switch these different themes, and you can have a nice fun with Oh My ZSH. This terminal will give you a funky and fun-loving themes that also gives you a nice attractive experience of writing a command line terminal. And here I'm just loading NVM. What is NVM? So NVM is a node version manager, and as a JavaScript developer, I need to have Node.js installed, and I cannot switch between different node versions without having NVM. So the first tool you should install after installing a terminal is Git. Git is already there, right? So you can also install it through the brew package manager, brew install git, brew install ZSH, or if you are on Windows, then there should be a command of installing it. Now NVM, why it is important? First of all, every system should have this NVM command, NVM software installed. What it does is it will help you to switch to a different node versions, because in a whole day I keep switching 3 to 4 different Node.js versions for my different tasks. Some projects are using PNPM, so I need a version 16.x. My old projects of Nest.js are using 14.5, and some of my projects which are really legacy, which I need to migrate, are using 10.x, Gatsby projects and all. So how we do it? First of all, NVM is installed. I can just use NVM use with 16.18.0, right? So what I will do is I will just check my version 16.18.0. No, now I want to use my 14.5.0, and I will just use node version, right? So this is how you keep switching the different node versions. Obviously, I'm not asking you to have 10 different node versions, but at least 2 to 3 which your application need. And you can also set the default like this, node alias NVM alias default. My default is, I think, 16.18.0. So whenever I open my terminal, okay, it's 16.18. Whenever I open my terminal and I say node -v, I get 14. Okay, this is the alias set, and then I need to use 16.18.0, and then I will just say node -v, Okay, so this is actually a default. This is the default I have set. So this is the default set to the terminal. Otherwise, what you can do, I want to install a new version, right? So nvm install and then nvm use let's say 12.0.0, which I'm not going to use. So it is installing this 12.0.0, and then what you do is nvm use v 12.0.0. So it will switch your node version to 12.0.0 and then you start using it. Okay, so you also need to be aware when you switch to the versions, your global packages won't be available, because your all global packages points to your node version, right? So if you install a global package for the version 16, that won't be available for version 14. You need to install globally again there. Okay, so what we need, we have git. Okay, I just want to type something. So we have git, then we have nvm, and we have ZSH. These are really required toolings for developers to get things really flowing with your workstation. Okay, git obviously everybody needs it, nvm you must have it, ZSH with iTerminal you must have it. Okay, now what is the next thing in the tooling is we have VS Code. Now in VS Code people ask me, okay, what is the theme and all in my videos, which I really don't like much. I mean, it's like open theme, whatever you like, you go here and just choose one of it and you are fun with this, right? Because there are millions of plugins available on the VS Code. The best thing has happened for the developers like us is the smart editor. I used to use Atom earlier, and then I don't remember Eclipse and all 8 years earlier. I used Atom, then since last 6 to 7 years I'm just using, I think, VS Code that I can remember. So VS Code is really powerful, which the Microsoft has done. I really like it, this tool. I don't like any other tool, but VS Code is really powerful and it has a really nice plugins and everything is really nice, right? They keep releasing the packages, and I think 99% of JavaScript developers are using VS Code. So I won't talk about much on this, but the required plugins. So if let's say you are setting up a new VS Code, so and you already have VS Code somewhere, then you can just use setting syncs. There are multiple plugins which are available on the VS Code. Setting sync, because I was using VS Code on another system, and then I got a new laptop, and then I want to synchronize my settings. Then I think there is something like, okay, sign into synchronize settings. This is really powerful tool, because if you are switching to different workstation, then you can synchronize with the having account. Okay, different profiles. The important plugins, what mostly we use while doing day-to-day development. Plugins, themes are really fun-loving. You can just choose any theme you want. I keep switching whatever I like. Mostly I like Dracula, Monokoi, Pro and all. Set color theme, and we will have some different color. So every day when I change the theme, I see something else, and that gives me, okay, today's I'm just looking at different color. It should not be too much heavy on the contrast. Your code should look nice. That's it. Okay, so apart from that, the plugin system is really powerful. What all different tools you will need in your application setup, right? We were writing somewhere, I think I lost that. Here, apart from that, what you need, you may need a REST client, because you might be writing a front end or a back end. You need to test your APIs. So what you need, either you can just use some tools like this Insomnia or Postman, whatever you want, or you can just use this REST client which is available there. I was just checking, okay, which one is really nice, which REST client is really nice for you guys. Thunder client, I have used it. Let me just see if I get Thunder client. Okay, this one. And yeah, this is nice because it gives you the nice interface to play around with the APIs. So here you just send your HTTP GET put post. It's same as the Postman. You set your headers, authorization headers and all. You set your body if you are sending the HTTP post, I don't need to talk about all these things, you already aware. But yeah, Thunder Client is really nice if you really want to do the HTTP integrations. There are other plugins, I won't recommend them. I installed this, I will disable it because this is not really nice. Thunder Client, I enabled it, and this is nice when you are playing with the APIs. New request, you got the request from the Swagger and you wanted to play with this, then you can just hit your APIs. So it's a get, I will send it, and I will get the whole HTML content, okay, because it's HTTP get. You will get the nice response, status code, preview. It's all about how many parameters you are getting. Okay, headers, auth, body, even you can add some tests. That's nice. You can add some scripts. Okay, so it's like a real Postman like feeling on the VS Code. Or you can use Insomnia. That's also a nice tool for building the Postman or testing your APIs. Okay, now coming next, what else we have? Okay, I will add this here, Thunder Client. Thunder Client VS Code plugin. Okay, now because if you are just not a really fresher, you are using Docker and all, then you need to install Docker Desktop on your Mac or your Windows. Docker Desktop is actually a tool which is helpful, and you can install it easily. I remember 3 years back we need to struggle while installing Docker. Now things are very easy. You just install Docker, and if you want to spin up the Docker, what you will do? That's it. So it will start your Docker and you will start running your commands for Docker. So for running the commands, obviously you will go to your terminal. So first let me check if Docker is running. Okay, it's running. So and I can just see this is my Docker setup, all the containers and all. So Docker is the next tool, next required tool, and you can install it very easily. There is just like a step-by-step. Okay, I can also talk about it. It comes with the Docker Compose, and you can play with the Docker commands and all. Right now, in the modern development of 2023, you must have a knowledge of Docker also. Because for the local development setup for the enterprise applications, obviously when you are doing a local workstation setup, you will have multiple services, front end, back end, couple of backend services. You need to set up local database, maybe a MongoDB, Postgres, MySQL. So it's better to have a Docker containers available. So this is what you need. And then you need some CLI tools. Let's say if you are interacting with AWS services and all, then you can have a AWS CLI, Heroku CLI. All the CLI tools you can install on demand if you really need it. But these are the simple toolings which you need as a full stack developer. And if I talk about the plugin system, you need to have all the required plugins for the VS Code. Let's say what else I have on the VS Code. I have a Docker plugin so that I can look for the Docker containers, what is running, what is dead, all the containers, volumes, images, network. I can see everything, and I can stop any Docker container. Like say I will do Docker Compose down. What it will do? It will remove all my containers. I can purge the volumes by just clicking on to this. So it will purge all the volumes for all the dead containers. Okay. Then Gitlens is like a one single plugin, enables all sort of features for you, like all the git blam, git diff, source tree, all the features gets enabled with this. And Thunder Client Nginx is I installed just recently while I was just started using the Nginx monorepos. So Nginx you can install, that is giving you the very powerful tool. This is really powerful tool of 2023 because you can automate lots of tasks. I can show you simple workspace which is enabling, which has the Nginx power. So I need to go to my setup and I will just go to Nest.js microservices. And here Nginx is enabled because this is Nginx workspace, and you can see all these packages, all these applications, and I can stop applications just by here. I can do build, all the package scripts are available, because when you have monorepo, you have 10 different projects. It's not easy to switch the directory and run the commands, build command, deploy commands, or running a particular package script. So it's better to have some kind of a plugin system. Apart from that, if you are using AWS or Azure and all, then the required plugins are available, which you can configure from here. Okay, apart from that, we just have a git lines, nx, and rest all you can install your favorite theme and all the required plugins like the bracket dark theme, bracket pair, colorization. So when you highlight, it will highlight the brackets. Node.js extensions you can install. So Node.js extensions will enable all the plugins which are required for the Node.js development. Similarly for Angular, Reactive Search, and you install it. Okay, maybe because there are tons of now plugins, just install whatever is required. So import coast, I will tell you just the important ones. Import coast is required. Then you have prettier RC, this prettier is enabled. Then ESLint, all these plugins are already enabled, or you enable them, because that will help you for your day-to-day development. There is nothing. Then we have a TypeScript. I think TypeScript is not a plugin, but to enable like TypeScript, to enable the TypeScript in your VS Code, so when you are writing a TypeScript code, it automatically compiles, keep compiling and showing you the compiler errors, that this is the typing error which you see while writing the code. And then rest you can just, okay, let's say you are doing a Tailwind and you don't know, because Tailwind we can't remember each and every class. This plugin will help you to autocomplete your class name. So there are for autocomplete, there are thousands of the plugins. Autocomplete your React component, autocomplete HTML, CSS, everything, right? So this is all about the tooling platform, like what all different tools you must have for your development setup. And now in the next video, let's bootstrap a simple app, and then we will talk about what you call it as a baseline application, how you can baseline a simple project having everything required and removing everything which is not required. So you should have a clean package JSON, clean package versioning, and all the required packages which are required for React, Nest.js, or Node.js development, including the testing, linting, all the prettier ESLint plugins and all.